So at that turning point moment, the turning point for you was you had developed this incredible thing, which a lot of people probably have or have seen. I know I've had my GPS and that sort of thing. And you did a great job, yet success didn't overcome everything, which for me and for a lot of people, we always think that success is going to overcome and fix everything. And it didn't for you. And even though you were successful and got that offer right away, you said, I'm not, it's not for me. What I think would be
It's
really...
all I will say is I felt like I do not control my destiny by working for someone else. That was my biggest thing. If you do create a great product and you can still get fired, then you say, where's the control? I mean, you want to, and that's the best thing about entrepreneurs, right? They want to have control of their life, and that's I was not thinking along those way at that time, but I know that is the end result I can see is that, I was sure that I didn't want to go and work for a company if I could. I mean, of course, if I had to, if I had to feed my kids and family, I would have done it, whatever. But I was, I just wanted to give it a shot, and thank goodness it worked.
Yeah, and so let me ask you a question. This might get a little personal, but I think it's valuable for our audience to hear. In the end, you realized that you had no control and that you wanted that control back. You realized it working for corporate America. And even now, you said, you're not sure exactly that's what you were thinking at the time. What was going through your mind at the time? What thoughts could you share with our audience that would resonate with, not necessarily resonate with them, but that they might be thinking so that they can realize it's okay to think these thoughts when things are going on and to realize they have to get through them. Is there anything you could share with our audience on that?
I can do that. You see, think about it that when you have, and whatever is your lifestyle, and no matter what job you have, but when you know that end of 2 weeks, every other Friday, you are going to get a paycheck, and you have your life literally built around that paycheck, right? So when you start thinking about starting something on your own, there's a lot of insecurity that comes into mind, right? You have, how long it will take for you to start making money. I mean, my biggest question I had in my mind is, how soon can I, start to make the same amount of money that I was making as in the corporation working? And in my case, it was a little bit harder also because I was making a very good salary, right? As the head of the, the product. So the insecurity is the first thing. Then obviously, along with that, you have the financial things that you have to worry about. The health insurance that I never had, as a senior executive in U.S. corporation, you don't even think about health insurance as a cost, right? Because the company takes care of everything. Yeah. Even simple stuff like health insurance, all these other everyday expenses that, we were breezing through as a family. All of a sudden, everything I had to take care of it, right? Either from my savings or start earning that quickly. So there's a big insecurity that I had. I'm assuming that other people have it when you are, going in there. And unfortunately for me, no one even suggested. See, again, all my peers were in corporate America. So I didn't know anyone who was an entrepreneur who could guide me. And I did not know about, these, maybe it was not even there, the podcast that, like yours, where I could learn from someone else. So you are always learning from through trial and errors, right? And when every time you have error, and remember, coming from corporate America and where I was decently successful, I could still get until I would say a couple of years back. Now, for the last 2 years, I don't think I've gotten any. But the recruiters always call and say, hey, there's an opening. And every time you are struggling, it is a very tempting thing to do. And as a matter of fact, one time I was, the company that had fired me, it was sold out, and the people who bought that company just so happened that they knew me through someone else. So they contacted me, and I'm like, they wanted me to come in as an executive vice president. I said, maybe as a CEO, I would consider. And the guy was nice. He said, I cannot hire you as a CEO, but I can. You can put your hat in the ring, and because the board decides that. And I was on a sort of a high when I came back home because it soothes your ego. I mean, let's just be honest. And I told my wife about this, and I said, this is what they're offering, and I'm kind of a little bit excited about it. And that was the time when my business had to start to break even, sort of. And my wife had a very simple question for me: what do you do after 2 years when you're fired? And and it dawned, and she was not saying that I will be fired. She said that's the average for CEOs these days. That after every 2 years you get fired. So what do you do after 2 years? And it was a very sobering question. So when I came back, I was like, again, I want to be in control of my life. And she reminded me why I started this thing. So of course I went back and I didn't say no, but I asked for some kind of ridiculous amount to come in. And they said, well, there's no way in the world that we can comply with that, because in fact, one of the guys who knew me very well said, well, unfortunately, your name is not Steve Jobs. So you're not going to get what you're asking. But yeah, I mean, it is the insecurity. You always are looking back, and and this is where having a support group, having some experts that you can talk to, could be so helpful. I mean, when I look back, to be very honest, sometimes I feel like it's a miracle that I stayed in there, because I will be very candid. There were many times that I was tempted to quit and go back to the job where I knew that, okay, a paycheck is going to be coming and we can live comfortably.
Well, and it's so interesting you talk, and I admit, when I was in corporate America, one of my goals was to be the CEO of a company, and
Same here.
It was kind of funny when I left and I created. I have a couple of companies. One's the C Corp and S Corp. I got all these different LLCs, everything all over the place. And when I got elected as CEO, it was kind of funny because I hung up the phone. Even though, I own the company, but we had the election and we kept, you're the CEO. I'm like, okay. I hung up the phone, and I'm divorced now, but I looked at my wife and I went, boy, that's just kind of not what I expected this to feel like. And she's looking at me real strange, and I went, when you have that vision of something and what it's going to be like when you achieve it, and then you achieve it and it doesn't live up to your expectations, you realize how out of whack some things are. Now, some of our audiences probably might want to be the CEO, might want to create a company, and that's great. If that's on your bucket list, I applaud you. Go for it. Do it. Make it happen. Hopefully, you will feel much more joy, satisfaction, and it'll be much more of an ego trip and a big hi to you than it was to me. It was just kind of like, oh, this is, and it's kind of like, okay, this is what it is. Now I got, boom, it's like check it off, which for me, for people who know me, that's not normal. I mean, normally I'm, either crying or laughing or having a lot of fun with it. So, but anyway, I digress. But I think you provided a lot of valuable information, and the biggest thing that I want everybody to take away from the turning point, and then we're going to talk about the aftermath real quick, is just the fact that while you're struggling, there's going to be times where people and things might pull you in and might make you want to give up. And just like AJ, your wife, asked you the question, what are you going to do in 2 years when they fire you? It's a question everybody has to ask. And I'm going to get real personal with our audience here for a second. A few years ago, my business was struggling, and my now ex-wife came and looked at me and said, you have to shut the business down and go get a real job, or I'm leaving you. And while I didn't think of it in those same terms, AJ, I think that's the question my insides asked myself. It's like, and I think that's where I came. It's like, okay, if I do this and I get fired from that job, or if I go back, to being in IT and I get laid off again, what's going to happen then? And it's a stark reality. it's a stark reality, whether it's a relationship or whether it is, a business or an entrepreneur. What's going to happen when? Because like AJ, you were saying, oops, there's one on the Ajay side. Oh, that would be two. So for those of you, I hope people are keeping track out there. We'll have to gamify this with like Blab does with the little hands. But the short version is the fact that you all have to ask yourself that question when it gets dark, because like for CEOs, for example, AJ, when you and I were coming up through the ranks, it was not uncommon for a CEO to be with a company 30, 40 years and just kind of, be there for forever. And it was the Queen of England, so to speak, right? But anyway, I would say we could really tangent on that. I want to get into the aftermath real quick for at least a minute or two.
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now, you'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.